Have you ever heard of fallen angels? The name itself sounds mysterious, almost magical, like something you'd find in an old dusty storybook tucked away on a high shelf. They sound like something out of a storybook, don't they? But the story of fallen angels is more than just a fairy tale. It's a tale of choices, consequences, and change. Imagine angels with big white wings, soaring gracefully through the sky, shining with light and goodness. Now picture some of them deciding to leave heaven, turning their backs on the place they once called home. These are the fallen angels. They're not just characters in a story. They were real beings with feelings and dreams. Fallen angels were once like the angels we often hear about. They lived with God, they were happy. But something happened that changed everything for them. They chose to turn away from goodness, even though they knew what it meant to be surrounded by love and light. They made a choice that made them different from the rest, setting themselves apart from their friends and family. They decided they wanted to be in charge, to make their own rules, even if it meant leaving everything behind. They didn't want to follow God anymore, choosing their own path instead of the one they were given. So they were cast out of heaven, sent away from the place of light and joy they once knew so well. It's a sad story, really. Imagine how lonely and lost they must have felt, separated from everything familiar. Imagine being surrounded by warmth and light and then choosing to live in darkness instead, all because of a single decision. That's what the fallen angels did. Their story reminds us how powerful our choices can be, and how even the brightest beings can lose their way. Why were they called fallen? The word fallen means more than just a simple trip or stumble. It's a word that carries a sense of loss, of something once high and glorious now brought low. In ancient stories, it describes beings who once stood in the light, but lost their place. Well, imagine a star falling from the sky. It shines brightly as it descends, but it's no longer part of the heavens. It's a beautiful thing to see, but it's also a sign that something has changed forever. It's a beautiful thing, but it's not where it's supposed to be. The fallen star is out of place, separated from its home among the other stars. It's a symbol of loss and longing. It's the same with these angels. They fell because they disobeyed God. Their fall wasn't just physical, it was a fall from grace, from trust, and from the harmony of heaven. There are many stories about this. Across cultures and centuries, people have told tales of angels who lost their way, each story adding new details and lessons. One of the most famous is about an angel called Lucifer, who was very powerful and beautiful. He was admired by many, and his light was said to be unmatched in all of heaven. But Lucifer was jealous of God and wanted to be greater than him. His pride grew, and he began to believe he deserved more than what he had been given. He convinced many other angels to join his side. Together they dreamed of a new order, one where they would rule instead. They rebelled against God, but they couldn't win. The struggle shook the very foundations of heaven, but in the end, their rebellion was crushed. God and the good angels defeated Lucifer and his followers. The victors stood tall, while the defeated angels realized the cost of their pride. God banished Lucifer and the fallen angels from heaven. They were cast out, no longer welcome in the place they once called home. They fell to earth, a dark and unfamiliar place compared to their heavenly home. Exiled and lost, the fallen angels wandered, forever changed by their choices and longing for what they had lost. When the fallen angels descended to earth, they didn't just watch from afar. They actively tried to interfere with God's plans for humanity. These beings, once radiant and pure, now walked among people, blending in but carrying secrets that were never meant for human ears. According to ancient stories, these fallen angels began to share forbidden knowledge with humans. They taught people mysterious arts, like magic, and revealed the secrets of forging powerful weapons. This knowledge was supposed to be hidden, locked away from human hands, but now it was out in the open. Imagine being handed a tool so powerful that you don't even understand its true purpose. It's like giving a child a match in a room full of dry leaves, something that could easily get out of control. The danger wasn't just in the knowledge itself, but in how unprepared people were to handle it. As a result, chaos began to spread. People started to argue, fight, and use their new skills for selfish reasons. Some legends say that this is the root of much of the trouble and suffering we see in the world today, as humanity struggled with powers they weren't ready for. One of the most well-known tales about forbidden knowledge takes place in the Garden of Eden, a paradise where everything was perfect, until temptation arrived. In this story, a fallen angel disguised as a serpent whispered secrets to Adam and Eve. He tempted them with the promise of wisdom and power, convincing them to eat the fruit that God had forbidden. This single act of disobedience changed everything. The consequences were enormous. The world was transformed and humanity was forced to leave paradise behind. From that moment on, life became more complicated, filled with challenges and choices that would shape the future. These ancient stories remind us that even the smallest choices can have huge effects, rippling outwards to change lives and even the course of history. Sometimes the pursuit of knowledge comes with a price, and it's up to us to decide how we use what we learn. The story of the fallen angels is thousands of years old. Why should we care today? Because it reminds us that we all have choices to make. Every day we choose between right and wrong. The fallen angels show us what can happen when we let pride, jealousy, and selfishness rule our hearts. Their story is a warning about the dangers of straying from what we know is right. It also reminds us that even if we make mistakes, we can always choose to turn back to goodness. It's never too late to make things right. Just like the good angels chose to stay with God, we can choose to follow a path of love and kindness.